My name is Vernon Araújo, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies today. I'd especially like to thank the members of the delegation from Ghana for being with us today. Bunmi Kinyemiju, Ogorji Nwoke, Mark Valdez, Robert Allen Richardson, Emmanuel Okoro, and George Andrews. Thank you all for visiting and being with us for this wonderful event. On behalf of all the organizers, I'd like to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you at this USVI-Africa Mini-Summit. It's a true honor to gather here today to celebrate the vibrant cultures, rich histories, and promising futures of African countries and the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'd also like to remind you that in the back of the room, we have our Made in the USVI desk with lots of amazing items that you can purchase before you leave today. Today marks the beginning of what we hope will be a long-standing collaboration, strengthening the ties between our communities, fostering mutual understanding, and creating new opportunities for dialogue, business, and partnership. As we embark on this new and exciting journey, we're reminded of the power of unity and cooperation. Our goal is not only to showcase the immense potential of the African continent, but also to highlight the unique role that the U.S. Virgin Islands plays in the global landscape as a gateway to the Americas. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all the sponsors, partners, and participants who have made this summit possible. Without your support, this event would not be the extraordinary gathering that it is today. With that, I officially welcome you once again to the USVI-Africa Mini-Summit. Let's embark on this journey of discovery, collaboration, and empowerment as we continue to build bridges between Africa and the U.S. Virgin Islands for generations to come. At this time, I'd like to invite Shakima Jones-Sproul to sing the national anthem and the Virgin Islands March.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? All hail our Virgin Islands, emeralds of the sea, where bridges bright with coral sands and trade winds bless our native lands. All hail our Virgin Islands, bathed in waters blue. We give our loyalty for faithful to thee and pledge allegiance forever true. God bless our Virgin Islands. Humbly now we pray, where all mankind can join today in friendly warmth of work and play. God bless our Virgin Islands, where beautiful and tall, beneath the sunny sky, hilltop high. Hold out a welcome for one and all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sakima. That was wonderful. And now we'll have the Ghana National Anthem. I'll now like to invite our Lieutenant Governor, Honorable Tregenza A. Roach, to the podium for our opening remarks. No? Oh, sorry, I apologize. Apparently he's not with us at the moment, so we will continue in the program and invite the President of our 36th Legislature, Honorable Milton E. Potter, to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning. Honorable Governor Albert Bryan Jr., Lieutenant Governor Roach, who isn't here as yet, my colleagues in the 36th Legislature, see Senator Novell Francis, Senator Avery Lewis, Senator Marvin Blyden, our Prince A. Bart and the members of the delegation from Ghana, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today's Africa, or USVI-Africa Mini-Summit, is a statement of who we are and how boldly we intend to shape our future. As a small territory with a global diaspora, the Virgin Islands understands that prosperity has always depended on the bridges we build beyond our shores. Our engagement with the continent of Africa is deeply personal. It is rooted in centuries of resilience, resistance, and unbroken cultural memory. In 1733, on our sister island of St. John, approximately 150 of our brave ancestors enslaved Africans from the Akwamu Empire in present-day Ghana led the first and longest recorded insurrection in the Americas, seizing control of the island for 6 months and reclaiming their freedom from cruel and ignoble bondage. Fast forward to 2026. Today's engagement with our brothers and sisters on the African continent is an opportunity to turn shared history into shared investment, shared culture into shared commerce, and shared values into concrete projects that improve the lives of our islands. As senators, we have a duty to ensure that the partnerships discussed here today translate into measurable economic gains, quality jobs for our people, and sustainable development that reaches every district. Let us signal clearly to our guests and to the world that we stand ready to legislate, appropriate, and advocate for initiatives that position the U.S. Virgin Islands as a gateway, a reliable rules-based hub for trade, capital formation, and innovation between the Caribbean and Africa. On behalf of my colleagues in the 36th Legislature, I extend appreciation to Governor Bryan and his team for convening this mini-summit, and I welcome our African delegation and private sector partners with the promise that what begins as dialogue today will continue as long-term collaboration tomorrow. Thank you very much. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, and with that, we'd like to invite Prince A. Bart, board member of the Ghana Tourism Association, the Ghana Tourism Authority, to the stage.
Your Excellency, Governor Albert Brown Jr., honorable leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I must begin by saying this. Coming from Ghana, we didn't anticipate that snow would cause cancellations and delays, but we made it here, and thanks to the support of the team in the USVI. In Africa, we have a saying that when travel becomes difficult, it means the meeting is important. So this meeting is very important to us. Good morning. On behalf of the Ghanaian delegation, and in my capacity as a member of the board of directors of the Ghana Tourism Authority, and on behalf of the CEO, Honorable Mami Efua Hujeto, I extend our sincere appreciation to Governor Albert Brown Jr. and the people of the United States Virgin Islands for the warm and thoughtful welcome we have received. The governor's message set a clear and practical tone, one that challenges us to move from introductions to outcomes and from goodwill to commercially viable partnerships. The framing is exactly why this summit matters. The theme, our territories, a bridge to Africa. It's not an aspirational language, but a strategy. And as the governor emphasized, it is grounded in trade, investment, and cultural exchange. And tourism sits on the intersection of all three. From Ghana's perspective, tourism is not a standalone sector. It is economic infrastructure. It drives, airlifts, connects, supports small and medium-scale enterprises, fuels the creative economy, and serves as a gateway for investment across hospitality, real estate, logistics, and services. When tourism is structured intentionally, it becomes a platform for broader economic growth. And this is where the USVI plays a unique role. The USVI is a strategic connector linking Africa, the Caribbean, and the United States, its trade-enabled infrastructure, and its position within the US markets. And its strong tourism brand creates an opportunity to design joint tourism and investment pathways that benefits both destinations. In practical terms, this means collaborative travel routes that connect USVI and Ghana, shared cultural and heritage programming, hospitality and workforce development exchanges, cruise, aviation, and diaspora-led tourism linkages, and investment forums tied to major cultural and tourism moments. These are actionable opportunities that align directly with the governor's call for measurable next steps and investable partnerships. As a prince from Akwemu, the USVI is deeply significant to me personally because it's directly linked to the Akwemu's history during the 1733-1734 uprising, as our Honorable President of the Legislature mentioned in his speech. Tourism also strengthens people-to-people ties. Many in the US Virgin Islands share deep ancestral and cultural connections to Africa. When those connections are activated through strategic tourism and exchange, they translate into repeat travel, long-term engagement, and sustainable economic participation. I wish to recognize the US Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority and the Department of Tourism, whose leadership ensures that today's conversations are anchored in policy, infrastructure, and execution. Your partnership is essential to transforming interest into outcomes. As we move through today's discussions, panels, and site visits, let us remain focused on impact, on projects that can be financed, partnerships that can scale, and tourism strategies that deliver value to our people. Ladies and gentlemen, bridges only matter when they are used. Through tourism, trade, and investment, we have the opportunity to make this bridge active, productive, and enduring. Thank you, and I wish you all a successful and purposeful summit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bart. We will now have Mr. Bunmi Akinye-Miju join us here at the stage, member of the Greenhouse Capital.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. And in my 24 hours of being in the US Virgin Islands, I am feeling very, very inspired. Thank you, Governor, and all the leadership of the USVI. For me, this is my first time really in this part of the Caribbean. And this is also the first time that I am realizing that something like this exists. The deep history of the US Virgin Islands and Africa, the concept of a jurisdiction that's actually, United States. And for me, the question I keep asking is, why is this not the most important conversation that we're having, especially at this time in the world today? And it is on the back of that question that I'd like to have a very quick conversation with you all today, because I feel like the US Virgin Islands is one of the best kept secret. And in fact, as I go back, I feel like I want to hide it a little bit just until we unlock the incredible potential that I think exists. And there's a big parallel, and the parallel is the fact that Africa is also a very big secret that people don't know, right? People say it verbally, but in some ways they don't believe it deeply, or they believe just about extracting the opportunity that exists today, and they lose track of the long-term incredible opportunity that exists. The same way that people looked at India, the way they looked at China, the way they looked at Dubai just not too long ago. That is exactly what's coming into Africa with 1.2, 1.5 billion people, with the fastest growing population, with incredible minerals, with the digital native young people. All it really takes is a few connecting the dots. The way Dubai connected the dots, that's the way I see that the USVI can connect the dot, right? The way the China, revolution came about, that is the same way that Africa is going to unlock the opportunity. The question is, when will it start? The question is, who is going to trigger that? And what are the events that's going to trigger that? My hypothesis is that the events that will trigger that has started happening now. And it's really the global dislocation, the current geopolitical rearrangement is actually the beginning of a new day. Secondly, the advent of artificial intelligence, the emergence of fintech capabilities that allows the movement of money instantly, right? That really flattens and democratizes a lot of these capabilities that only existed in special places. Now it's available on your phone. Now you can build any app or any product in 24 hours that used to take 2 months, 2 years. Now the capital formation capabilities that exist, whether in China or in Israel or in India or in Norway, the capital stack can show up in the middle of Zimbabwe just like that on the blockchain. So the level of disruption that is happening in the next 18 months, not more than 18 months, I think it's going to be incredibly transformational. And that's why I'm saying that this USVI secret, I'm going to keep it to myself. Just for a little bit, right? And what is the opportunity? The opportunity is talent, capital, and digital. Talent. When it comes to talent, the opportunity is really the fact that the USVI story is very simple. It's the story of being the bridge to all of the African Americans, Caribbeans in America, mainland America, looking for a home. Simple. It's a simple pitch. Put me in front of them. I can convince any African American, Caribbean, the billionaires, the millionaires, the tech unicorn founders. It won't take me more than 2 hours. They will be setting up their second home here, I can guarantee you. Talent. It's the African billionaires, the unicorns. I know 10 of them personally. I was part of their journey. In starting their company, building their company, I invested in their company. It's a simple conversation. You talk to these guys, net worth $100 million, right? Their company is worth $1 billion. It's a simple story. You want access to America? Come here. You want a home where it's private, confidential? Come here. It's a simple pitch. That's talent. Capital. We've already solved that in what I said about talent. You start with the talent that can mobilize capital and can mobilize capital formation. Capital follows them. Capital is about the stock exchange, right? The biggest most liquid stock exchange in the world is in America. The minerals are in Africa looking for capital. Who can bridge the two? It's only here. That is capital. The third part is digital, because digital has a way of helping you to leapfrog. Digital has a way of making you move when other people underestimate you. Think about what happened in the banking sector in Africa. Today, Africa leads mobile money in the world. Today, Africa leads in mobile telephony, one of the top level of adoption in the world. Meanwhile, Africa came from when there was just landlines, where I remember growing up in Nigeria. I was born in Michigan, grew up in Nigeria. I remember where you have to plan 1 week to go to the office to make calls abroad. That's not too long ago. Now, what happened? Today, everybody has a phone. In fact, Africans have 2 phone lines. Most people have 2 phone lines. Today, you have financial inclusion. People in the most remote location, they can transfer money instantly. In America, you need to download Zelle. You need to hope the other person has Zelle. What? Crypto adoption, blockchain adoption. Some African countries are in the top 3 in adoption of crypto. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that the digital transformation comes from nowhere. And that is the opportunity. And that is also my personal story. My personal story has just been all about entrepreneurship. And the idea that if you give people agency, if you show them that they can create a company, and by creating a company, they achieve freedom, economic freedom, then that is the big unlock. And I think the opportunity to evangelize entrepreneurship on the USVI, connect incredible capital globally that are emotionally aligned to this jurisdiction, bring capital in to catalyze them, and enable everything with digital. That combination is unstoppable, and I think the USVI is unstoppable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Feel inspired. We have a couple more speakers this afternoon. I'd like to invite George Andrews, CEO of Capital City Bank. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Let me first of all say it is an honor to be a part of this, and I'm going to call it a historical occasion. Anytime black folks, people of color, I don't care where you're from, Africa, America, other Caribbean islands, to do something of this nature, it's phenomenal. So I would like to bring greetings from the African American banking community to, first of all, our distinguished Governor Abbott Bryant and all of his officials that made this summit, if you will, possible, and to our honored guest, Prince A. Bart, and the entire Ghana delegation. Again, let me pause and say that I've been a banker for all my life, practically, over 50 years. And we've been talking about financing or providing capital for these type of projects. It hadn't been done. It has been started, but it hadn't been done. And listening to Governor Bryant last night and all the accomplishments that he has succeeded in accomplishing, I said this is the perfect time to bring African American capital to the table to help finance and make this a realization. There's over 18 African American banks in the U.S. Now, you might think that's a lot, 18 banks that are owned and operated by people that look just like you. But when I started my bank back in 1994, there was over 70. So why have the numbers dropped so rapidly? Because we fail to engage in opportunities like this. We only looked at our little finite communities, not the world. This brings an opportunity for us to use that capital through the U.S. Virgin Islands to reach Africa so that we can expand our market. See, we don't exist if we don't expand our market. Today we say 18, you come back next year, it could be 15, and so forth and so on. You get the message. So we are here, first of all, committing to partner with the government to start this new bank that's going to be an extension of the African American banks that exist in the U.S., but it's going to be different. It's going to be different in scope. Why? Folks, it does us no good to have this great economic engine and we, the small business person, doesn't benefit from it. So you need an institution that realizes that not only prosperity must come, but prosperity must be realized by the small business man. And by doing that, we all benefit. We all move forward. So we bring an attitude, if you will. We bring a commitment to provide capital to the small business person so that that person can be empowered and take advantage of these kinds of opportunities. We must do it. If we don't do it, then we don't survive. Folks, I'm serious. We don't survive. This is the best opportunity for us at this particular point in time. So I'm excited, Governor Bryant. I'm excited that I'm hitting the ground at the right time with this new collaborative that we are trying to establish. I'm excited because this should be the model for economic survival, and I'm going to say it with no reservation, for people of color in this world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we'll now have Stephen Adams, President and CEO of VINGN, come up and say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, thank you. My name is Stephen Adams. I'm the President and CEO of Virgin Islands Next Generation Network, also known as VINGN. And I want to thank Governor Bryant for his support, not only of our agency, since he's the chairman of our board, but also had the foresight to invite me to go to Ghana in our last visit. And I wanted to report today the results of that visit under his leadership and foresight. What I want to speak today about is, very shortly, about digital gateway between the U.S. Virgin Islands and Ghana as a gateway, a digital gateway into the rest of Africa. We are presenting actually, let me tell you about VINGN. VINGN runs the undersea cables, runs the terrestrial cables on the U.S. Virgin Islands, in between the islands and the mainland of America, through St. Croix. That's what we do, and we have men and women who keep the internet running. All the ISPs that are in the territory are our customers. So that's who VINGN is. When my first day at VINGN, I sat down in my salesperson's office, and she had a map of the world. And in the map of the world, there's 600 cables, undersea cables, connecting everything and everything. But not a single cable, as you saw in the video, connected the continent of Africa to America. Not a single cable, there's 600 of them. Digital commerce and digital economy runs on undersea cables. Just to give you an idea of how important undersea cables are, 94% of all internet traffic in the world goes through undersea cable. So if you're going to be able to look at Africa and the prosperity of Africa, Africa has a lot of cables, hundreds of them, but they all go to Europe. So the trade routes in the digital economy is between Africa and Europe, Africa and South America, through South Africa, but nothing directly across the ocean. We are the way station between the ocean. So when I was in Ghana, I was part of our tour was to see the Minister of Special Projects, and we presented a plan. It's called Diaspora Link. And what Diaspora Link is an undersea cable that connects St. Croix to Accra, and from St. Croix to Miami, and St. Croix to Virginia Beach, and St. Croix to New York. So that's 3 pathways into the United States for Africa. Once these cables are established, okay, what then, right? It's just a cable, right? A cable has to be attached to something. Well, I brought friends of mine today from Astrana. They're a satellite company out of San Francisco. What we are going to do is launch a satellite over the continent of Africa. The company is, if you look them up, is a very well-funded company and doing very innovative things with satellites. So in partnership, we're going to launch a satellite over Africa, connect the unconnected, be able to do digital banking in the rural areas of Ghana, and then backhaul that to the Virgin Islands and then to the mainland. That's prosperity for Africans, for Virgin Islanders, and for Americans. That's the connection. This project resonated so much so with the Ghanaian president, as well as the Minister of Special Projects, as well as with telecommunications, that they invited us back. In 2 weeks, we go back to Africa. I'll be traveling with my friends from Astrana, and we plan to present a plan. And we've already had conversations with the African Development Bank to be able to fund an initiative to run a cable, a base station, and a satellite. And once we have that established, we will have created a bridge, and then that's our gateway into the rest of Africa. Just before this meeting today, I was talking with the Minister of Special Projects, and it was very interesting. He said, I didn't tell you this yet, Stephen, but he goes, Uganda and other nations, all the nations around us, want in on this project, right? Because the future is digital, right? We're already here, right? And if you're a digital native, like anybody under 30 is, you're in a situation that you care about your phone, right? Your phone is your gateway to the economy. We're going to unleash that and then create this bridge that's on this beautiful graphic, and we are going to be the hub of it. Here in the Virgin Islands, we are going to be the hub of that. So the last thing I'd like to close out with, and this is actually a tribute to Governor Bryan, is because when I first started talking about this project with Governor Bryan on my board, he was like, I want to see a little bit more traction on this thing. So under his administration, he now has the religion about it. And it's under his administration that we want to deliver results. So before the end of his term, we plan to deliver results. The next time we're in a room like this, Governor Bryan will be able to crow that this was his vision because he supported me to allow this to happen. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Very exciting. And on that note, I know everybody's hungry and the lunch is almost ready. But before, excuse me, before we break for lunch, I'd like to invite our Honorable Governor, Albert Bryan, to come up and say a few words.
Thank you. Please be seated. I'm excited. I sat there thinking about so many things I want to say. First, I want to say, weren't those speakers just inspiring? Sometimes things don't turn out for what you think they're going to be, right? I'll give you an example. Brace yourself. Well, but before I forget my brought up, see, good morning and welcome. My Senate President, our delegation from West Africa, friends, neighbors, guests, good morning. But things don't come out. Because Viagra is a high blood pressure medicine, right? Y'all know that? They weren't trying to, they were trying to lower people's blood pressure. Rogaine, that grows your hair, that was a high blood pressure medicine too. Coca-Cola was a cure for morphine addicts. So sometimes you're doing one product and you're not so sure you're doing the next. And I always used to marvel at, I don't know if he's in here, he's probably in Taiwan by now, but Tony Weeks. Anthony Weeks is one of those people say, you always support Anthony Weeks, whatever he does. But he is a person that starts a conversation. And conversations are so important because perspectives come when conversations happen. And when you listen to what is happening today, I wanted to go to see what there was in Africa, what opportunities we had. But mostly, very honestly, I wanted to go home. You know when you want to go home? Let me tell you, y'all know how it is when you want to go home because you found out, and we have been a victim of it, a tragic victim of it, that there's only one good reason for snow. It's to force people to come to places like this. That's it. There's no other reason for snow. And unfortunately, it waylaid a lot of our travelers who were coming here and to enjoy this. And I hope they're going to be able to tune in on the internet or something because it is so important what is going on. It is an awakening. I like to think, is my term I use, right? People know about, they're always talking about the sleeping tiger in Asia, their economy and they're coming awake. But what about a roaring lion in Africa? Huh? What about the roaring lion? Last night I have a chain. It's actually called the chain. The chain. I'll say it again. The chain of office. And on it has everybody who exploited and used us over the 600 years that we've been on this Western carpet. And I wear it around my neck. And I didn't wear it last night because I give this big speech. And people always say, well, why didn't you wear this chain of office? The people on the Virgin Islands are under some strange realization or fiction that we come from Denmark. We're not from Denmark. That chain don't have Africa nowhere on it. I unchained myself. Yeah. But when you listen to Boomy, man, you go, I'm not going to sleep tonight, you put so many thoughts in my head. Coming here and tell you, Rosie's the deputy secretary, deputy commissioner. I'm promoting her. They're going to say you promote your girlfriend. But he said the exact same thing she said to me. She said when I came to the Virgin Islands, she was born and raised in St. Vincent. And we have a lot of immigrants because of the generations. Like when I was young, we had a lot of adults that moved to the Virgin Islands. And we were from the Eastern Caribbean. They would be bonded and they would come in. That was the 70s. And then for a long time, you know, we stopped a lot of immigration and people stopped coming. So we have second and third generation. So, and a lot of development has happened in the Eastern Caribbean. So you don't have that mass immigration, and you know our president dealing with immigration, but you don't have it anymore. So she actually grew up in St. Vincent and then went to, I'm telling her business, went to Alabama to school. I wondered why all the people had this big cross and were wearing sheets running down the road. Think about it. She had never heard of the Ku Klux Klan. That's an American thing. Was bewildered at what was going on and said she's going to come to the Virgin Islands. She said, I never knew a place like this existed. A place in America with people like me, but it's still island and island culture. And it's like, Boomy's like, I need to keep this a secret. And you do, because we don't recognize what a wonderful place this is. And I wanted my African brothers and sisters to come and experience this. Because I don't know if you know, but they left the baddest Africans in the Caribbean. Yeah, we're like, y'all ain't going no further. I ain't going nowhere. The island is boat. Come off. They left us right there, and they were like, you ain't going no further. And what happened? That's where all the revolts happened, 1733 in St. John, you know. That's where it happened, because we were an unruly sort. And if you look at American history, most of the major players in United States African American history came from the Caribbean. The same bad egg that went up there to make trouble too. So what I'm saying is, we're creating, once again, with the summit like this, the middle passage. We're creating the middle passage, but in a different way. We're connecting our bridge and saying, us brothers and sisters who came over here and saw, we took advantage, we learned about democracy, we have the benefit of American education and every free thing in the world could imagine, and looking back and say, let us feed the roaring lion. And let us benefit from that. Let us share and let us revisit our culture. Let us experience who we are, where we come from. Let us be proud. Let me tell you something. You know, one of the most impressive things about Africa was, like, how many people in here have on blue suits or gray suits or white shirts or red ties or blue ties, right? When you go to Africa, they like the prints. Stand up, prints, show them. Everybody got something different. They got their own style. Show them your style. Originality and creativity. Ain't nobody looking the same. Even in the hotel, they dress differently, because that's what we come from. We come from creativity. Now, think about senators. You hear what this man say? Crypto. I'm afraid to bring crypto to the legislature. I'm serious. We have to be taking the opportunities to take things that our people don't understand and make them understand it. You know, I always used to think to myself, and I said it last night in my speech, I'm fulfilling the destiny of many other governors. And, you know, whether the rum cover over or we fix a retirement system, whatever we do, there was stuff that started 40 years ago. But what am I doing for the next 40 years? What am I planting for the next 40 years? Today you could see it. You could see that the Virgin Islands needs to, and George said it. He says, grow or die. Grow or die. You think you're going to be, I read a whole speech for my fraternity. It's called Comfortable Spaces. Because we keep looking for a comfortable space. We just want to be left alone. I just want to be over here. I want to do my little thing and be left alone. But in this global state, grow or die. And we have the opportunity, we don't realize it, to coalesce, amalgamate, amass, put together capital, talent, and make it grow in any part of the world we choose to. But having people come, when, you know, again, a little philosophical, I know I'm hungry. But everywhere in the world black people go, people look down on us, except Africa. And we don't go there. You gotta laugh, you know, because think about it. Everywhere in the world black people go, people look down on us, except Africa. And it is an experience to see everybody that's just like you. I don't have anything against anybody else, but I just want, you know, when I think about traveling someplace, I always ask myself, and every black person in this room knows it, I wonder how they treat black people. Like, I shouldn't have to ask that. Now in America, you gotta wonder how they treat white people. They're killing everybody, you know. I say playing. It sounds funny, but it ain't. We have an opportunity to do something spectacular and to help and to promote and to grow and to understand and build. It's not a nation, it's a continent, 1.5 billion people. You know, West Africa is such a big hose. We just need a little bit, you know, to make this economy explode. There's so many people over there. It's so much talent. We just need a little bit, just a little bit. So I am extremely pleased to have our guests here and to keep a secret sometime and tell the world about what a wonderful, like, look at this. This is like real life every single day here. And I thank God I was born in this place, right up there. But we have a chance to explore, to experience that, and to share that with the world in commerce, in trade, in tourism. We have the chance to allow people to experience how the food is the same, that it's been changed, the way it's seasoned, spiced, based on what we had, what ingredients we need. We have this, we have the symbols of people who have come here from before, and the witnesses of the plantations and all the things that we have lived through our history. And now Virgin Islanders, we have Africa, where we really come from, connecting us with a bridge for real prosperity, not only for us, but for them as well. And the entire Caribbean coming together to understand that we are one displaced African diaspora in the Western Hemisphere. And no matter where that ship take you, we are one people, and we will be again. Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you, Governor Bryan. I believe lunch is ready, but before we head out, I just wanted to acknowledge some students we have in the room. If the students could stand for a moment so everybody can acknowledge you. We have some students from CHS, from Lockhart. These are our future leaders that will be hopefully continuing on this journey and helping to continue to bridge the gap between Africa and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Thank you, students, for joining us today. With that, we will break for lunch, and then after lunch, we will continue the program. Thank you all very much.